Welcome to What the Hell. This is going to be kind of a dark one starting out. We're going to try to do some comedy afterwards, but we're going to talk about the new statistics of veteran suicide.
Yeah. First and foremost, for our brothers and sisters out there, if you need help, reach out to us. Or get a hold of the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 800-273-8255.
And then here's another number, 844-907-1342. That's the Stop Soldier Suicide. There is so many outlets that you can go with. You don't have to kill yourself. I mean, you could drop a ball and hit. If you look up suicide on Google, you'll have an outlet. There's several of them. Some of them, they'll get you in touch with a group meeting that you can go to and everything. The outlets for stuff like that is just so many that I'm still surprised that how many just suicides in general.
Yeah, it's
we can beat this horse. I'm actually thinking probably at least once a month or something to that extent that we do a suicide prevention one. And if I can figure out a way to get calls, I think we can probably do the WhatsApp.
Yeah, we can start that up just specifically for our page. But there is a stopsoldiersuicide.org. It's a great website. There's also rallyproject.com. That's the group that I'm affiliated with. I co-chair the advisory board here in town. There's a lot of different venues out there that are available for us as warriors, war fighters, whatever.
Well, it's also like first responders.
Yeah, first responders.
EMS.
Yeah, suicide just in general, but specifically today. Just because of the way that Afghanistan is going currently, there's a lot of Afghanistan vets that are out there that have been dealing with the demons and dealing with the voices in their heads and the stresses that come with that.
And now what they're feeling is
that it was all for nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's basically Vietnam vets all over again.
Yeah, we even still have Vietnam veterans that are still committing suicide to this day, and it's.
But we also have during the pandemic, a lot of people are committing suicide for that because
they were shut in. They didn't have any.
Social outlets.
Yeah. Exactly.
Other than social media, and we know how much that we just posted something that just shows how much of a douchebag stuff that there is.
Yeah.
Not to.
Now there is a website out there. It's called lifeafterwar.org. There's an article out there. I want to read this real quick if I can.
Okay.
It's titled "When You Can't Be a Warrior Anymore, Is There a Reason to Go On?" It's that hollow numbness, the sense that you are already dead, the complete lack of desire to go on, the craving to be gone, to be done here, the feeling that you are nothing more than an empty husk blown about by gusts of wind. There's nothing left of you. You're not who you used to be. You look in the mirror and don't even recognize the vacant soul staring back at you. Nothing and everything gets to you. Your body is here, but you're not. You lost the one thing that meant everything, the ability to be who you are, because being a warrior who loved and breathed combat, who misses it like your heart, has been torn from you. Being that person wasn't just a job, it is who you are. And not to be able to be who you really are, is absolutely devastating. It's soul-crushing. It's the reason death feels like a viable option. Why were you put on this earth to find the one thing that makes you feel like your truest self, your deepest purpose, your reason for being here, and have that taken away from you? That's what your life is now, right? There's a reason warriors prefer to die in battle. Because of this, the, quote, what comes after, service ends. When your body gives out and you're not allowed to be who you know you were born to be, that void feels like you've already died. No one talks about this part of it. We mourn those who take their lives. We cry out against their decision. We bleed inside at their loss, and we envy them. Hard words, but true. There's a part of you that feels like it every time a brother goes home early. You just can't tell anyone that. The reality is that part of you has died. A warrior's life after military service ends isn't like civilian retirement, when what you do is who you are, and anyone called into a service field who is born to be what they know or what they do knows this. The end of it feels like death. It is a death. The you knew yourself to be dies. The pain of it and the silence that shrouds it keeps it hidden. Warriors who can't go back to war die inside, quiet, aching, pervasive deaths. The longer you go on without a renewed purpose, the more of you dies. The emptiness, the sense that your soul has been cut out of you, it's real. You're not alone. And you're not fucked up for feeling it. Civilians are elated when your service ends because it means you're out of harm's way. It means you survived. It means they can exhale. Finally, they expect you to find something else now to fill your time. Some of the perceptive ones will understand that this isn't about finding a new job. This is about mourning the loss of your identity and finding a new one. A new job doesn't give you a new identity. This is why it can be so hard to stick with a job after you get out. A warrior's purpose is to serve the life-death-life circle. Identity comes from purpose. It comes from you, or from your sense of who you are and why you're here. In the bigger picture of life in the bigger picture of lifetimes on Earth, a soul is born into a lifetime with purpose. Being a warrior feels like it was your purpose, but being a warrior is the package for your purpose. The purpose lies deeper inside. What was your purpose? To defend, to protect, to destroy evil, to rescue, to save, to keep your brothers safe, to liberate, service itself. You feel empty because you've lost your known purpose and meaning. It was all very clear for you before, and now it's not. The question is, can you take who you are and do something new with it? Can you identify what your sole purpose is and hold on to that? And find a way to live with that now? I can tell you this. A warrior will only re-find purpose by finding a way to continue to be of service to life on Earth. You're not made to be self-only serving. It's not your soul DNA to be on this earth without carrying out a mission that matters to humanity, to history. You were born into this world to make a difference, to take risks, to change the status quo, to expose and eradicate evil, to uproot and open life to new possibilities, new change. Yes, war destroys, absolutely, but it also creates. With the destruction of what was comes the opportunity for newness. We follow a life-death-life cycle. It's natural law. Being of service to this life-death-life circle is who you are, and you need to honor that. It's true that you're never going to stop missing combat. You're never going to feel whole, or feel as whole as you felt when you were then. Some things cannot be replaced or replicated. You know that in your soul. But you survived combat. The gods didn't take you. You were saved, and your purpose on this earth is not done. I know this is hard. I know it tears at your heart. I know you are so close to choosing death because you can't feel anything right now. But that's an illusion. Feelings can be changed. Make the hardest choice you will ever make. You are still here. Your soul is still on earth. It's It's still on this earth. So is your body. Ending your life now may seem like the only option, but is it? You were called to service. Service is still your purpose. Who can you serve? Who can you impact today? How can you take the strength that has been built into you and help someone else find theirs? Can you lead someone to find their own courage? Can you see that if you help one, it's the same as helping 1,000? No, it's not combat, but you survived combat, so you would have the wisdom you need to serve in a new way. What if this time in your life is what it was all for? You are a warrior. You have to fight this one. You have to choose life. We need you. It's the hardest choice you're going to make, and only you can make it. Your heart was made to expand into newness, and you were created to be able to adapt and overcome. Emptiness can be filled, numbness can thaw, pain can ease, sadness can soften, purpose can be rediscovered. What seems impossible to you right now is possible. You are needed here, by those in your life now, and by those destined to meet you. Be here to show up for them. Choose life. For me, for your brothers, for that one soul out there who is going to interact with you, and because of your wisdom, your insight, your encouragement, your example of courage is going to change their story. History takes a different turn when someone changes their story. Change yours, my warrior. Change yours. I stand with you. You can do this. I found that article a couple of years ago, and when I went to try to bookmark it, it just kind of disappeared because, the way that Facebook does its refresh. But with just the absolute shit job that this administration's doing with Afghanistan right now, we start, it got reposted, thankfully, and it came across my feed, and I was able to snag it, and I bookmarked it, and I felt that with the subject matter that we're going to cover today, that it was incredibly important. That even with just the handful of listeners that we have now.
And by the way, we're not that big. I mean, we got probably about 10 to 15, but every once in a while, someone's got to hear it.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that would actually wave at a person because of that story of guy that was always waving at everybody that was passing by and everything, and he basically, someone was in the car where he was waving at people and everything. He's like, "Why are you waving at those people? Do you know him?" It's like, "No, because one day that person that needs someone to say hi to probably didn't want to. I probably prevented someone from committing suicide."
Yeah, I mean, there was a ruck event that I was a part of a few months ago, and at the end of it, I was asked to speak a little bit, and so, one of the bigger points of me jumping on the soapbox that day was, veterans, especially veterans, we're a national resource because we've got a unique perspective on history. And you see all these books being written by veterans. You see all these books written by authors where they interview veterans, especially like World War II, Vietnam, Korea, that talk about their experiences, and they get these experiences on record. And it's a gateway to, or a window rather, into a very unique time in American history. Because we can sit here and listen. History teachers talk all day about life on the home front. And they can talk from a third person removed standpoint of, we had this conflict on this foreign shore. This many Americans died. this many Americans were wounded. The war lasted from this day, from point A to point B. And that's all we get. We don't get to hear about the struggles. We don't get to hear about the life and death decisions. We don't get to hear about the camaraderie. We don't get to hear about the jokes, the pranks, the emotions of the people who fought in those wars. And
even in the past wars even to this day, Korea is still considered the forgotten war because nobody remembers it.
Yeah, absolutely. Korea is. I had an opportunity to meet a couple of guys that were, at the Chosin Reservoir, and they're part of that society now that's been set up for the Frozen Chosin. And I just shook their hands. I told them, good job, and welcome home. And they don't hear that, enough. And especially our brothers and sisters that fought in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Then when they came home, they were expected to take the uniforms off and get a job. A lot of them were spit on. A lot of them were bashed because they served in an unpopular war. And the only reason it was made unpopular was because of the shadow that the media here at home cast on it. But every veteran from every conflict, I think we're losing. I think, what is it? Like, we're down. I think we're down to less than 1 million World War II veterans still alive.
I think it's actually less than that.
Yeah, the number's out there somewhere.
Because that was literally probably around about, it's coming up to, it's 80 years.
80 years, yeah.
And most of those people were like in their 18.
Yeah.
So you're looking at probably most of them are 90 now.
Yeah.
So most of them, there's some of them that reach 100. But, and we're shining a more of light on the veteran community and the Leos and everything, but this is a problem that, I hate to say this, and a lot of people are going to probably be upset at it a little bit. Look at, kids that are in high school and everything. They're, more or less getting bullied, and they're not getting the help that they need.
Yeah.
We're not just doing this because we're veterans. We're doing this because, one, I was affected by suicide. My mom killed herself, when I was 22.
Yeah, and in all transparency, a few years ago, I came that close to killing myself. Went home, sat in the closet, put the gun to my head, and I couldn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, mine was right after my mom passed, after a year, and it was just the escalation of my mom passing and the woman I was with thinking that she actually cared about me, throwing my son in the trash can.
Yeah.
And killing him. A lot of people was like, "Oh, that's a lot of stuff." I was like, "Yeah, it's a lot of stuff I have to carry now."
Yeah.
But I'll still carry another person's.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. It's one of those things. I just recently found out, one of my friends that I used to hang out with for a little bit committed suicide too.
Yeah.
And we can talk off the line with that one.
Yeah.
But I have little snippets. But if you actually go on our Facebook page, and this is one of those things, I copy the links. If you don't want to, if you're thinking it was we're just doing this for the notoriety and everything like that, there's 3 links right there. You can copy and paste, put them on your Facebook page, your Instagram, whatever you want to put it on. I don't care. But I'm putting the information out there so you can go up. We got StopSoldierSuicide.org, AllSecureFoundation.org, and SuicidePreventionLifeline.org.
Yeah,
Copy paste any. It's 3 of them. There's many more.
Yeah, and we'll throw Rally Project up there too. But
yeah,
I mean,
just send me the link and I'll put it. Yeah. I'll edit it right now. I'm doing this as we're talking.
Yeah, just go in there. It's like rally-project.com, I think it is. So let me pull out my business card here, because they're going to tell me I don't have any more business cards in my wallet. That would be tragic. Let me see here. Yeah, I don't have one in my wallet right now. But
God, you're gonna have to send me the link.
Yeah, well, when I get home,
because I just did Rally Project, and it just gives me a link to like. Hold on, let me. Rally Project.
Yeah, but
Field of Flags.
Yeah, there's a Field of Flag. I mean, they do a lot of different functions, but
okay,
they've got a Enduring Warrior.
Yeah, Operation Enduring Warrior was another one.
Now, just to kind of give everybody some statistics, and yeah, we're going to focus on the veteran group for just a few minutes. But veterans are 50% at a higher risk of committing suicide than people who didn't serve. That's 1.5 times the national average. Okay. By 2030, they're projecting the total number of suicides will be 23 times higher than the number of post 9/11 combat deaths. By 2030, veteran suicide will account for more than $221 billion in public costs. And since 2001, more than 114,000 veterans have died by suicide. That is an 86% increase since 2006 among 18 to 34-year-old male veterans. So, it's
God. There was
it takes more strength and more courage to ask for help than it does to do that, than to take that way. Yeah, the fight is a lot harder. And a lot of times it may seem like you don't want to do it anymore. But that is why we've got these networks in place. We've got these resources available to us. Let somebody else carry the weight for just a little while. It's not going to diminish your manhood. It's not going to diminish your warrior mentality. It's not going to take away from the ethos. In fact, it's part of the ethos is that we don't leave a fallen man behind. And
most of them are just through veteran stuff and everything. It's more or less not having another mission.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a guy when I was in the service, and all he was doing is retiring. Having a senior master sergeant just break down and cry because they don't know what they're going to do after they get after they retire.
Yeah.
I mean, that was actually the point to where I was more or less going, maybe I shouldn't make this a career. I don't know if it's going to be for me. It's one of those things that just it made me, rethink my options.
Yeah. I mean, and there's some more stats here, personal social traumas. And again, these are coming from StopSoldierSuicide.org. But depending on the branch, up to 31% of service members develop PTSD after returning from combat. For the LGBTQ community within the veteran ranks, the suicide rate for veterans of the of the LGBTQ, I can never say that all the time, community is up to 7 times higher than other veterans.
Where's your? I'm sorry, off topic. Where's your girlfriend live?
South of Houston, Angleton, Lake Jackson area.
Where's Bandera?
Oh, you would ask me a geography question.
Okay, just go with your stuff. I'll find it.
But more than 40% of female veterans report experiencing military sexual harassment or military sexual trauma. So, I mean, it's not exclusive to just the men who are committing suicide. Women are doing it too, and they're doing it for various other reasons, combat related as well, PTSD. But they're also developing these PTSDs from some of the sexual harassments and sexual assaults that they receive while serving.
Yeah.
More than 1 in 10 U.S. veterans have been diagnosed with a substance abuse disorder. So it's that one specifically right there.
Oh, okay.
That one, that stat right there specifically screams at me, because a lot of men and women are turning to drugs and alcohol to deaden the pain, deaden the voices in their head, and, get rid of the guilt, and just to kind of shut themselves off emotionally from the world. And the only way that they feel like they can do that is through substance abuse. It's it's not uncommon for me to open up a beer or maybe have a couple of glasses of whiskey every now and then, but there's so much out there.
Yeah, and like I said, I just posted up like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 groups. One of them's not veteran oriented. The rest of them are, but we have so many outlets.
Yeah,
and I'm repeating this constantly through this episode for a little bit, because I want everybody to know there are outlets. People will listen to you, and you can go about your day. I mean, I had a veteran group that a guy was like, hey, is there anybody I can talk to? I was like, yeah, sure, I'll talk to you. Call me up. I was like, okay. He called me up. I was like, hey, what's the problem, buddy? He's like, well, I've been having like bad dreams and everything. And I just got a new wife and everything. I was like, listen, it could just be stress, but if you need to, go to a therapist. There's lots of groups. Let me find you one. And I Googled it, and this is like at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was doing this. I just happened to wake up. I was going out for a cigarette. I was looking on my phone for stuff to look at just while then I'd go back to bed. But, that happenstance hopefully helped that guy out. I haven't talked to him in a while, so I need to reach out and see if he's doing all right. But it's just as simple as going on to, we have social media, since we bash the crap out of a lot of them because of the freedom of speech we think we are not getting anymore, which they are silencing a lot of the free speech nowadays. But sometimes it just helps to get on one of the social medias that's out there. If it's not us, and if you don't feel comfortable with us, or go somewhere else. Find somewhere else. Talk to people. And this isn't just going up. Right now, the highlight is because of the Afghan thing, to where people feel that the Afghan war, or the people that fought in Afghanistan, feel that they just wasted their time.
Yeah, I mean, this is their time.
Years.
Their buddies have died for nothing. We've had. I mean, this is 3 generations have fought in this war.
Is it 3 generations?
It's been 3 generations. So you got your Desert Storm people. I mean, they were already in. Their kids were getting of age. They enlisted. They fought.
And their kids. Oh,
and
God,
their kids.
That's right.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's. I'm not going to sit here and, bash the fact that we've been engaged in a war for 20 years. Okay, so I read something on one of my unit alumni pages on Facebook. And just basically, just the gist of it is that it wasn't for nothing. It wasn't in vain. Their mission was to keep us safe. We haven't had a major attack on this on our shores.
I think since the Boston.
Well, I mean, that was just like a small thing, but I say small, not to belittle the people that suffered at the Boston Marathon bombing, but there hasn't been a major attack since 9/11. And if you're one of these conspiracy nuts thing, you know, 9/11 was an inside job. How about you just pump the brakes there, Fox and Friends, and just shut the fuck up long enough for us to get our point across? Because it's not about what you know, whatever it is that you fucking believe. We got men and women that served their country. They didn't sit there and soak up some fucking benefits that were handed to them because you wanted to be the fuck off in class that soaked up everybody else's knowledge while they did the work. I don't want to hear that shit. Nobody has time for that right now. We're talking about men and women who have served our country.
Yeah, and there's literally a like a 2-minute video of, because someone is saying, jet fuel burns out at 2,000 degrees.
Again, I'm not even going to give it enough credence to talk about that bullshit right now. Okay, because it's not about fucking black helicopters. It's not about people, you know. It's not. Point is,
these people feel that they didn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, the men and women that served over there
and
feel like they wasted their time. They feel like they wasted parts of their body. They feel like their friends have wasted their lives. The sacrifices that they made on the field of battle were for nothing. And it couldn't be further from the truth. You men and women are fucking heroes. Absolutely. 100% American heroes. You have, like I said earlier, a very unique perspective to American history. Your name belongs in a book somewhere that you fought. And to quote George C. Scott's portrayal of Patton, when you're old, sitting on your rocking chair somewhere, and your grandkids ask you, well, what did you do during the war? You won't be able to tell them that you were shoveling shit in a ditch somewhere in Louisiana. You raised your right hand. You signed up to do a job, knowing that that job was going to ask certain sacrifices of you, payable up to and including your life. You answered the bell. You picked up your arms. And you fought for the person to your left and your right. And you came home. You survived. That's not for nothing. And I'll be damned if I'm going to sit here and let anybody that I know or anybody that I come into contact with that served in that theater feel that way. Fuck that. And yeah, you know, we've been pretty good about not dropping the F-bomb on our show here as of late, but, you know, this one, we need to speak the language of our people. And, you know, by God, yeah, especially myself as an infantryman, we can fit the word fuck 15 times in a 12-word sentence.
This is true.
So, get it out there. Talk about your shit. I'm not going to go as far as to say pull your head out of your fourth point of contact, but wire your shot groups tighter. Reach out. Find somebody that'll answer that phone at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning and talk about your shit. We want you here. We need you here. And some people they're not going to hear that message unless they hear that tough love. If fucking call me and I'll video time or FaceTime, whatever. I'll knife hand the fuck out of you. I don't give a shit. If it keeps you here for 5 minutes longer, then that is what we're going to do.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nicer one of the two, but
oh yeah, you know what? I say that I can be rough and I can be crass, but most of the people that know me and that have known me for 5+ years, they'll tell you that my hard bastard exterior has gotten a little bit softer, and I'm like, okay, whatever. That's just because I've become more in tune with my emotions. But
I think it's more or less the someone finally got to the soft stone.
Oh, the creamy nougat center.
It's still stone.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a little bit softer now. It's kind of like limestone right now. Limestone. I mean, it's hard, but it's still considered a solid, but it's gooey. I'm hoping one day we can get you to at least maybe like quicksand or something like that. You can still die from you, but you're also a liquid.
No, I was going to say maybe lava, but or magma, but yeah, sure, fine, whatever, limestone. Huh? I mean, the limestone erodes away, then it turns into a sinkhole, and I'm sorry, nobody's putting anything into any of my fucking holes. No, that's just not the way this guy rolls.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't need you to go there, but okay.
Hey, I spelled it out so that way you didn't have the opportunity to come back later and do it.
I'm still trying to figure out if maybe like one day you're gonna end up calling me as like, Dave, I lied to you. I fucking lied to you. I'm like, what are you talking about? I fucking lied to you. I'm sorry, man. I'm like, dude, what the fuck did you lie to me about? She pegged me last night.
Those words will never come out of my mouth. Ever.
What, the sorry part, or the lying part, or the pegging part?
The pegging part.
You would lie to me, you son of a bitch.
I would lie to you if it meant that I didn't, because I don't want to be personally responsible for completely destroying the infrastructure that holds your fragile, ecosystem together.
I got rid of that a long time ago.
All right, well then don't worry about it.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so the lying part and the pegging part, you'll never hear me fucking say ever. One, because it'll never happen, but two, there's a whole lot of no right there.
Wait a minute, what would it actually be like the cost for that? I mean, you always got that and yes, we're getting way off topic on this because we wanted to do the first part to where it was just hardcore us telling you if you think that you're going to kill yourself, give a call. Now we're trying to give you a little bit of entertainment, so we should have done it first so people listen to the last part, but we wanted to get this.
No, because their attention spans are going to be like, oh, squirrel.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then they're not going to hear the hard truths. They're not going to be able to hear, the hard thing to say.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to hear that hard topic. So no, we did it in the correct order. So
okay,
if they've tuned out by now, then hey, it's their loss or their gain, whatever.
What would be the money amount for you to get either A, pegged, or sexually fuck a man? What's the money? What's your price range?
No.
No.
Just no. Because everybody's like, oh, everybody's got a price. I gotta look myself in the fucking mirror, bro. That shit ain't happening.
With $100,000, I can look at myself in the mirror. Just putting it out there.
Respectively speaking, you, sir, are a cheap date.
There's a lot you can do with $100,000.
You can't get away with murder.
I think you can.
It takes a whole lot more than $100,000 to cover something like that up.
Yeah, because you got to pay off the cops, you got to pay off the judge,
Mm-hmm.
you got to pay off the prosecutor.
Mm-hmm.
So you're probably looking about 2 to 3 million. But it, just
Still, no. There's not enough mouthwash in the world. Sorry, no.
yeah. But you can invest that money afterwards and everything. You can invest it. You can.
It's bad enough that when you go get a prostate check, you have to go out in the car, or go out in the parking lot, sit in your car, and fucking cry because your underwear is in your pocket because your butt crack is all squishy.
You know what's really sad? A woman can do it, and she's somewhat looked frowned upon a little bit down. But once a dude does it, yeah.
I'm not disparaging members of the male species. And yes, there are only two genders. Give it a Google and go fuck yourself. Anyway, I'm not disparaging dudes that do that. To each their own. It's just not my thing. It never has been.
Okay, basically
It never
what you're
will
saying
be.
is you don't have a price range. Because you won't do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What if, like, one of your kids was in a hostage situation, and the only way to get it out of it is, like, put a pipe through your mouth. I'm not talking a gun. I'm talking about a penis.
I would never allow the situation to progress to that. Well, actually, to regress to that point. Somebody's going to fucking die before it gets to that point. What was that favorite key word when we were in the military? Notionally speaking. I was going to choke you the fuck out in just a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, remember notional? Yeah, this is a notional situation. It's like, well, notionally, he would have gone over there and done A, B, and C. Well, how about realistically, I do it anyway, and then you just say it was a notional situation.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Is just like, why are we still talking?
Yeah, I'm. That question has popped into my head at least 5 times in the last 30 seconds. Like, why is he still on this?
It's just a conversational piece.
Okay. Anyway, so I plan on buying a new T-shirt.
The Cabal.
The Kabul Skydiving Club.
I thought you said a lot of them were just dropped out.
Well, I've saved the link for that one that's still up. I found it on Amazon.
I'm surprised you haven't just, like, while we were talking beforehand when we were out with the cigarette that you just bought it.
Let me see here. Hold on. Okay, so the clingy picture.
Oh yeah.
There, I've got 7 laugh reacts, 1 like, and a former squad leader of mine by the name of Glenn Poirier. Wholesome humor.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Sometimes we're probably just, on some of the stuff that we post. We probably got our spot. I mean, we do a lot of good karma and everything like that to where we might escape you out of that a little bit.
Okay, so extra large, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, you bought it.
And it's done, folks. Yes, sir. Okay. So,
How far have you even? Did you watch the What If?
I have not yet. I don't get my boys until tomorrow. So
Yeah, because you don't do that stuff until Tuesday or Thursday.
Thursday, yeah. So I don't get them until I get them for a couple hours on Thursday before the weekend.
God,
and
I've been
then
wanting to talk about Free Guy.
I'm gonna take them this weekend to go see that. So on Monday, after we shoot our Nerd Sports, we'll do a What the Hell about Free Guy.
Thank God, because it's one of those things. It's like it's almost 2 weeks.
I get it, dude. I missed being able to take them to the advanced screening by 12 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised they still do event screening.
Well, they did an advanced screening here. Like a week and a half before it came out.
Really?
Yeah, it was at Cinemark.
Huh. I'm surprised it wasn't on Because that actually is not going to Disney Plus, even though it's a Disney movie. It's going to HBO Max.
I'm getting more positive feedback on the picture that you were too afraid to post.
In my defense, you got a bunch of army degenerates, while I have a lot of.
Dude, my girlfriend even laughed at it.
Okay.
Okay, my girlfriend laughed at it. I'm not saying that she's a stick in the mud, because she is the furthest thing from a stick in the mud.
Yeah,
But,
she's very, very funny.
Considering the fact that we were talking, that the meme is talking about a clingy girlfriend, she laughed at it. So yeah,
I'm just
that in itself, right there, just her reaction to it. I'm chalking it up as a win.
I still like our group chat stuff.
Yeah.
God. Like some of them I just can't. I don't even know if I can
terrible
describe
and
stuff.
that's gruesome.
It's so dark.
I'm saving
in there.
this for my friends.
Yeah. I did post the been chasing people in their dreams so long I forgot to chase my.
Oh, the Freddy Krueger one, yeah. Yeah, God. Every time I see Freddy Krueger now, I just think of Scary Terry from Rick and Morty. I'm like, oh, bitch.
Yeah.
Just like, I can't do it. It's ruined Freddy Krueger for me. So
there's a lot of stuff that's ruined Freddy Krueger. But I guess that's it for the this episode.
Yeah.
But like I said, we posted, copy paste a lot of this links we did on our Facebook page.
And absolutely, people. And I cannot restate this again. I can't restate this enough. Dig down, find the courage and the strength to reach out. Because it takes more bravery to talk about it, to make yourself vulnerable to another human being that you trust, and talk about your mental issues, talk about what demons are trying to drag you down, than it is to kill yourself. And I've said this before, and it's worth restating. Suicide does not end your pain. It just simply leaves it behind. It piles it onto the people you leave behind.
Yeah, like your family members and stuff like that.
Especially for us veterans.
And it's very in hindsight, 2020 on this one, it is very. A lot of people, this is like, oh, that thing is like, I'm being selfless when I commit suicide. No, you're being
selfish. Yeah,
selfish.
No, I mean, especially for those of us who are parents. It's like you're going to do that, and you're going to leave those kids behind to fend for themselves. I mean, especially for and this is just a common demographic, but veterans that go through divorce. Our exes are our exes for a reason. Whether we were the horrible human beings or you were the horrible human, or they were the horrible human beings. I don't feel comfortable leaving my boys, leaving my daughter alone in this world. Because there's enough people that grow up in this world without one parent or the other. Don't add to that.
Yeah.
Don't make them a statistic. Don't do it. You want to be brave, you want to show them how to deal with adversity, you choose to live.
Yeah, that's another thing that is show how much, all the shit that we've been through and everything, how much we actually averted it because we just pushed on.
Yeah.
And we got help.
Nut up. Pick up your gear. Drive on with your airborne or air assault or whatever fucking mission it is that you are on, and you do the hard thing. Not because you're trying to fucking prove a point, but because it's required of us. Our families, our loved ones, our children need to understand what it means to be better.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, kids these days have a hard enough time trying to deal with the real world because everybody wants to hand it to them on a fucking ice cream cone and tell them that it's going to be okay. Well, damn it, it's not. The world is a dark, fucked up little place. And it's our responsibility. It's our responsibility to make sure that the next generation has it better than we did. And you can't fucking do that if you're 6 feet under the ground.
No, you can't.
You know, it's not like they're going to look back at you and say, oh, well, you know, he tried, he wasn't able to get it done. What lesson can I pull from this? Well, the one lesson that they're going to be able to pull from it is that it's easier to give up.
Oh, yeah.
You have a purpose in this world. There is a mission still. You still have the ability to serve. We just have to shift fire and figure out what the new enemy is. You can still be a warrior.
And there's actually organizations that will help you do that.
Exactly. There are resources out there. Utilize them. If we were still in, and you didn't use all the resources available to you to get the mission accomplished, the amount, or not the amount, but the size of the ass chewing that you would have received is still applicable. It still applies.
Yeah. And all the resources that you just, if you're having a bad day, type up, and you feel that you're going to commit suicide, you have a phone, you have the internet, and you can find someone that has it. Just Google suicide prevention, and bam, you have a laundry list of stuff to where you can go to for someone to actually talk to you. I mean, if you're listening to us and everything like that,
if you're listening to us,
that would,
then you're scraping the bottom of the barrel. But we're still here.
Yeah.
You know, it's be the reason why we laugh at the next reunion. Be the reason why we laugh at the next party. Be the reason why we laugh at all. Don't you dare be the reason why we fucking cry.
Oh, yeah. Well, on that note, I'm David Ickerman.
I'm Johnny Skelton.
And this is What the Hell. Thank you for watching, and keep on watching.